My name is Donnie Lowy from Wholesale USA Dresses.com. Hope you're doing well today. So today I'd like to discuss with you what an overrun supplier is. Overruns are basically merchandise that is extra, that was merchandise that was produced in excess of the original quantity that was needed. So an overrun might be, let's say, merchandise such as dresses. In a factory had an order for 100 dresses. They produced 120 dresses. Maybe it cost them the same amount to produce those extra dresses. Maybe they're hoping to sell those extra dresses later on, but those dresses are overrun, or maybe it's just a mistake, and instead of making 100 dresses like they needed to make, they made an extra 20 dresses. An overrun supplier would be a supplier that goes ahead and looks for those overruns and then sells that merchandise on a wholesale basis to stores, to flea market vendors, to eBay sellers, and so on. Now, when you're dealing with overruns, you want to keep in mind that you might get a lot of the same item. It could be the same model, it could be the same style, the same color, the same size. Because let's say there was a factory that got an order for 1,000 dresses, and they needed to make them in the same, I would say, run of sizes, colors, and styles. In other words, let's say they needed 20% to be size small, 20% medium, and so on. But instead of making, 200 dresses size medium, they made 250 size dresses. So what's going to happen when you get those overrun dresses? You're going to be getting 50 dresses that are size medium. So instead of getting a wide assortment of sizes, when you buy overruns, you might get a lot of the same size, the same style, the same color, maybe even the same brand, and so on. So you do want to keep that in mind so you know what to expect, and you can actually ask the supplier to see what merchandise they have. And first of all, you want to know why the overruns took place, so you know if it makes sense for you to buy it, and if it's too much, let's say it's too much of a specific color or a specific style or a specific size, it might be appropriate for you or it might not be appropriate for you. So you do want to have that in mind. Now, when you are buying overruns, you want to get them, at a very good price, and you should be able to get a very low wholesale price, lower than what you generally pay when you buy other wholesale merchandise, because overrun merchandise is basically excess merchandise. It's merchandise that was made too much of, and they just don't have a customer. They don't need that merchandise that they have made in excess. Alright, my website is wholesaleusadresses.com. The next time you're in New York, you are welcome to visit my warehouse. Thank you and have a great day.